RN6 and welcome back to the channel. So we're going to talk about the Seal PUP Elite, and as you can see in the intro, I went out there, played with this knife, did a bunch of things, and I got to tell you guys, I wasn't really impressed. Now, it kind of sad me that I said this because I was actually very excited about this knife. I really wanted to like it, and it's a very popular knife. A lot of guys have it here in the community. You know, I think it goes for about $70 in sites like Amazon, and a lot of guys like this knife. So to me, it was kind of disappointing because I think it's a cool knife, but for $70, maybe not. You know, maybe for about 40 to 50 bucks, I will probably entertain it, and I will probably you know, have a different opinion. But for $70, I think there's too many choices out there that you could select that are way better than this. Now, with that being said, guys, there's a lot of good things about this knife. There's some bad things as well. We're going to talk about that, so let's go ahead and hit the table. Alright guys, so here's the Seal PUP Elite. I gotta tell you guys, before we get into this knife, I got my MMP shield back there. It's pretty late, guys, and I gotta tell you, you always gotta have a firearm with you in case of some type of home defense or some type of situation. Now, looking at this knife, I gotta tell you, the Seal PUP Elite runs for about $70. I know there is another model called Seal PUP that runs for about 40 to 50 bucks. Now, I don't know what's the main differences between those two knives, but to me they look pretty much the same. So you may want to do some research when it comes down to buying this knife. Maybe you could save some money by getting the Seal PUP versus getting the Seal PUP Elite. Now I got to tell you guys, I really wanted to like this knife, and I do like it in some kind of way, but it didn't meet all my expectations. Now, just looking at some of the specs, you have ASA steel, which is supposed to be very good. When it comes down to folding knife, I don't really have any experience with fixed blade. If you do, make sure you put it down in the comments. But it seems to work well. Now, ASA, like I said, is made in Taiwan. It says it back there. You have this handle that has excellent checkering. I mean, the inside of this handle, it just provides excellent traction, guys. I mean, when you hold this knife, you could feel all the checkering and all that in your hands, which if you actually hold it really tight, actually it's gonna hurt your hands a little bit. Now, you have a hole back here for a lanyard, some 550 cord, whatever you want to put through that, and that is big enough, so it works pretty well. Now, you do have this finger groove. And to tell you the truth, guys, it goes back to the whole, my hands being medium-sized hands, my fingers don't really match that well, that pattern. So if you have smaller hands, I think it's going to work a little bit better. Now, you do have a finger guard up here that works excellent. I really like that. It kind of protects that finger. But you do have this pick, like a little tiny pick that kind of goes up. And again, you're supposed to grab this knife and kind of put your finger right there, kind of provide some traction and some, you know, kind of help you guide that knife if you want to put it that way. But to me, it's kind of annoying. If you actually choke up to this blade, that pick is going to just like, kind of like poke you right there, and it's very, very annoying if you ask me. So I don't really like that pick when it comes down to this handle. I think that pick needs to go. Maybe put some more jimping in the front so you could actually choke up to this blade and actually be able to you know, use it in a more detailed kind of way. Now guys, I'm definitely going to miss a bunch of things, so I'm going to put it down in the description box, so make sure you check the description box for more detail. But the blade is going to be a color point design. The tip seems to be very, very strong. I actually tested it out and it does work pretty well. Again, very sharp, guys. I mean, that was one of the things that was impressive. It was very sharp and extremely sharp, and this point could be extremely dangerous. I mean, you could use this knife for stabbing and, you know, cutting and things like that, and I think it's gonna do extremely well for that. Now, that's probably one of the reasons why this knife is more targeting military, targeting law enforcement officers, because it's very, very light. I mean, you could put this knife with some type of system. You know, if you're already carrying a rifle, you're carrying a pistol, you're carrying magazines, you're carrying a bunch of different guns. I mean, some of the military guys may be carrying some type of breacher kit. You may be carrying a secondary weapon as a shotgun or something like that. Being able to have such a light knife is going to be beneficial. I mean, very light, which again, it makes it extremely easy to to use. I mean, you could just use it really well. It works extremely well, and the fact that it's so light, it just worked well, guys. Alright guys, so looking at this, I gotta tell you, to me, it doesn't really scream high quality. It says SOG, has some marking and things like that. It does have a drain hole down here in case some type of water goes inside. The water will, will come out or drain through that hole. But to me, it doesn't seem to be really high quality. You have this Velcro system that you could utilize to attach it to a belt, and you have this snap up here. Now, being a tactical knife, I don't like the fact that it's chrome or it's very shiny. So being a tactical knife, I would think it would be black. In some type of tactical operation or some type of real operation, everybody knows that you don't want to have things that flash, things that could give away your location. So this needs to be black to me. Again, retention is going to be okay. It's not amazing, guys. If you could tell, it wobbles. You could hear how it wobbles in the inside. So retention is okay. It's not going to come out. I think if you go for a run or something like that, I don't think it's going to come out. But it does wobble a little bit. Again, you have this snap. It does have a little bit of Velcro. And this is pretty much how it's gonna look. Again, I don't like that chrome. I would prefer that to be black or some type of different color, because that could potentially give away your location. Now, again, you could use this in your belt. You could use the holes to run some type of 550 cord, some type of cord to tie it up to some type of backpack. But you could also remove this portion. You see the screws right there. You could possibly remove those that portion right here and buy something like Blade Tech. I think they sell some type of clip that you could attach to this and then attach it to your backpack, maybe your play carry or something like that. So again, for $70, you get this, which again, it's supposed to be some type of tactical knife for law enforcement, but the fact that you're going to have to spend more money to be able to attach it to your vest, I think it's definitely a vulnerability. So you're looking at $70, and then you're looking to buy another adapter to be able to attach that to your backpack, to your play carrier, or something like that. So that's definitely a vulnerability. Alright guys, so I definitely think this is a great knife for guys going camping. When you go camping, you always got to be cutting things. Maybe you want to prepare some food. I think it's going to work for the hunters, the fishers, guys that like to go fish. I think it's going to work as well. Like I say, extremely sharp, so you're going to be able to prepare food. If you're fishing out there, you're going to be able to cut those lines with no issues. Now, when it comes to tactical and law enforcement and combat operation, I don't think I agree with that philosophy of use for this knife. Now, definitely it's a very small knife. Definitely it's a knife that you could attach to your, you could implement in some type of rig. You're already carrying a rifle, a pistol, like I said. So it's going to be pretty heavy along with all your ammo and things like that. So having a very lightweight knife is probably very, very beneficial. But to me, guys, and this is just to me, my opinion, you may have yours and may be different. So definitely put it down in the comments. But to me, when I look at a knife that is supposed to be a combat knife, I'm looking at something that I could do many different tasks with that knife. I'm looking at something that I could utilize not only for stabbing, cutting, but also for some type of survival situation. If I find myself during my combat operation in some type of survival situation, do I got a knife that is going to allow me to, help me make a fire? Maybe I find myself in a situation where I'm alone. Now I have to cut through a bunch of trees to make a fire. This knife is just not going to cut it for that, guys. You're not going to be doing any chopping or anything like that with this knife. So, maybe I got to break through a door. Maybe I have to stick that point right there and try to break a lock and plier a door so I could go inside. I don't think it's going to cut it for that. So I definitely think it's going to be a very good knife for the basic guy, doing basic things here in the country, just doing very utility stuff. I think it's going to be a great knife for that. It could potentially work for police officers, if you find yourself in a situation at a close combat or something like that. But when it comes down as a combat knife, this is a knife that is going to be utilized in current operations like Afghanistan or something like that. I don't think this will be my first choice. But again, guys, that's my opinion. Let me know yours down in the comments, and I definitely appreciate you guys watching. Alright, guys, if you guys like videos like this, make sure you click like. I definitely appreciate when you subscribe to the channel, share my videos, like my videos, guys. And as always, God is in control.